Am I live? I think I am live. Let me take a look. It says right there that I'm live. It has a little red button on the side there that I'm live. How many minutes I'm going, all the other nonsense. Well, well, it looks like I'm live. Well, greetings one all. Welcome back to another stream here. Another talk, another lecture, another nonsense of me spewing out just bullshit for you all, just to talk to you all face to face about some things regarding to the page and such, some things that are on my mind that I want to get off, and just a couple updates of what's been going on, etc., within the channel alone, the NG2C Network channel, and some things that I just want to clear up. Now, as you all know, been doing both of us on Mondays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single Monday. You folks know the schedule. And that's probably been the only content that's been provided within this particular channel. Now, I say all the time that yes, within the week that I'll provide some content, I'll upload some stuff, and all the other nonsense. But here's my problem. I admit I'm lazy. I admit I'm fucking lazy. I got a lot of shit that goes on in my life. I got things that I'm trying to worry about. And within, especially if you got mental issues and stuff, if you got like depression or anxiety, I admit that I do have. If you got certain things that are going on with you mentally, you just don't feel motivated or you don't feel the energy to just get on the computer and just create some content for you all. Even if you get a lot of ideas that you want to put out there, but the thing is that your mental state is holding you back from wanting to create content, and it's hard to find the proper motivation to get out there and just create the content that you want to do. And that's what's been my problem, is that I've been so goddamn lazy that I haven't been able to just find a proper motivation to come on and just create content, because I do want to come on here and give you folks some different variety of content for you to watch other than just both of us, which is something that you folks enjoy. But at the same time, I want to continue and hold up to my word of the content that I promise that I want to provide. So after I do this whole entire tape, I'm going to try my best to find the motivation and find the energy that I need to create the content that I want to provide for you folks, with everything that I'm going to talk about and everything that I am in the works of right now that I will be uploading eventually. But the thing is that with the certain work that I'm in right now, it's, again, taking me a lot of time because I want these particular things that I'm working on to be at its full advantage. Because let me tell you all right now, I might as well talk about this because it's not necessarily on my notes here to talk about, but let me talk about the equipment that I have. Folks, when it comes to equipment, I hardly have nothing special. Everybody's got these fancy ass lights, these big ass cameras, these big, amazing $72 editing software, this fucking, all this fancy gadgets to make them videos look good and all that shit. You know what my equipment is? This little webcam that I'm using. OBS, but when I'm not using webcam, I have a tripod, and I have this little Kodak camera. This fucker that I've had since, I think, 2008. Yeah, since 2008. This is my equipment right here. This is my only equipment that I got for physical attributes. This little thing right here. And this camera's been good to me for years. I had another camera. It was a Kodak. It was a lot bigger and a lot wider and fatter. But the problem with that camera was it was a piece of shit. The quality was just terrible. The quality on this one's a little better, but at the same time, it gives that old YouTube 2009, 2010 type quality standards. But again, this is all I got. I don't have the money. I don't have the financial I don't have the finance to actually go out and buy the equipment. I don't. So that's why I can't have my videos being 180 10p quality or 720 or whatever fucking quality that people are using these days that are up to date and shit. So I don't have the money to buy it. I'm not fucking rich. I'm not wealthy, and I don't want to be wealthy. I don't have the money to fucking spend to buy the equipment that I want. But if I ever do get some money, other than my little spending issue, other than my little spending issues and putting my money towards necessities like groceries, for example, maybe I'll try and put some money aside to boost up my equipment a little bit. Because the thing is that I do want to improve the content in terms of my tapes. there's a lot of new equipment I want to get. I obviously need a new computer because my computer, it's a home built one, but it's a little outdated, especially with what's going on. It's got the updates with the new Windows 10 and all that stuff, but in terms of the actual build itself, it's a little outdated. There's a couple programs that I'm using up to date in terms of its apps and all their nonsense, but just the computer itself is a little outdated. Now, I was promised a gaming computer, but that's just to be determined and in question of when that'll be. But we'll just have to wait and see in terms of that, and I'll talk about that more when that dilemma is taken care of. But in terms of the actual stuff that I got, in terms of all my equipment, I would like to get a new camera sometime. I'd like to get a new camera, take better thumbnails, or use this to take video if I don't want to use my webcam. In terms of movie reviews, I want to get a microphone. Austin did promise me that he would give me like a headset or a microphone or whatever the fuck, so I can sound better. Because the thing is that with this audio webcam, it's okay, but sometimes it cuts out and gets a little muffled because of the certain background noises like fans that I have going on or whatever. I want to get a new headset and/or one of those big ass stick microphones that I can talk into and have my audio sound a lot more fluent, clear, and proper, so you folks can hear me a little better. So whenever I get the money or that happens, I'd like to get myself a headset and microphone. Also, editing software. Now, if you want to know what my editing software is, folks, all I got is the Windows Movie Maker. That's been my software for years, since I first started doing ever since I started doing fucking shit on this channel. Windows Movie Maker, that's my only editing software that I have. Why? Because it was free and it's been on my computer for God knows how long. So all this other software, whatever Austin uses or Adobe or all this other shit, again, it costs money. I don't have the finances to buy it. So there you go. Windows Movie Maker, and I'm not gonna lie, if you folks seen some of the work that I provide in terms of like some bigger videos and such, yeah, that thing's been my, you can say, saving grace. And with the very limited sources that Windows Movie Maker is able to provide in terms of all these other fancy softwares that give you all these outstanding gadgets and stuff, Windows Movie Maker, I managed to learn and create my own adaptations in terms of how I can use whatever's given me and turn it into something spectacular within the work that I'm able to provide. Now, in terms of other stuff, I managed to pick up my flaws and got some constructive criticism along the way, but I took those words and managed to learn a little more and make my content improve, which is going to lead me to my next discussion, which is video game reviews. Now, video game reviews is something that I've been thinking, you know what? Movie reviews are fun and everything. I like talking about movies, but here's the thing, though. Do I feel confident enough with myself talking about movies like I am with video games? Not necessarily, because movies, and when I've been reviewing movies lately, I've been writing my notes down. I've been writing, all this other stuff, making it neat and everything. But when it comes to my presentation, I just don't feel confident with myself that I can't really speak clear. I can't really give the right words that I want to discuss when I'm talking about a movie now these days. So, and the thing is that I have a love for video games as well. And the thing is that I've been talking video games with the fellas privately, but here's the thing, though. I never really got into reviewing video games until I agree with Austin to review the Dark Pictures Man and Men. Then we did The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. And things started clicking in my head, and I'm thinking, this is fun. I actually feel like I'm presenting myself fluently. I'm speaking clearly, and I can actually give proper thoughts of what I want to say in terms of regarding what it is that I'm playing. Like, movies is one thing, but with a video game, I just feel like I can speak myself a lot clearer. Because the thing is that when I'm playing video games, I'm learning how the game works. I'm getting a physical interaction than just sitting there and just watching something. No disrespect against movies, but just the physical interaction, just picking up that controller and learning how the game works, just watching the cutscenes, playing the game itself, learning the controls, and just letting things click in my mind and writing notes down. Let me if I can find the fucking thing. Where the hell is it? Excuse me for my bald head. Where the fuck did I put it? Where the hell did I put it? Okay, here it is. Yeah. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is my journal. This here is my... You know, every time when I come on stream, something always has to fuck up. I've kept these records so goddamn organized. But as soon as this ridiculous ass broken chair tipped over, my records just fell over just like that. Slants. Give me a second while I fix this. This is a durable shelf too. Hollow wood. Good stuff. But as I was saying, this is my journal right here. This is where I am keeping my notes for my games. Now, the journal itself is not full. But here, 1, 2, 3. At least 3 pages right now of notes that I've written for a couple of reviews. This journal is going to fill up. But when I'm playing a game, if there's something on my mind that clicks while I'm playing a game, take my pencil, write it down in this journal. This is where I keep all my notes so I can write my reviews for games. But yeah, when I thought to myself, you know what, video game reviews, when I started doing these with Austin, again, I just think they're a lot of fun. I was enjoying myself. I like the content. I like the quality. I like everything. It just feels fresh doing video game reviews, which led me to doing my first video game review here on the page. And it did really well, other than my audio cutting down. But again, I was trying to make it sound, I was trying to balance the audio properly, but something got screwy and it ended up being low, which I was not happy about. But other than that, folks said that the visuals itself was nice and that the video itself was not bad. So I was very satisfied with that particular review. And I figured, you know what? The movie reviews are still going to happen on the page, but video game reviews is something I'm going to work on a lot more. Because the thing is that I feel like that I can be much more creative. I can be more creative. I can be more enthusiastic. I can put more work into something instead of just having like my intro, my review, then fucking credits, boom, movie review all done. I feel like that if I can do a video game review, showcase some gameplay content, do like a voiceover like Austin does his shit and others as well, but doing a voiceover and actually just reading off my notes while presenting it in my most professional / entertainment manner while editing in the video clips that I have, I feel like that I can get more creative and make my reviews more presentable. So not only does it make me feel better reviewing something, but it makes me feel better giving you folks a nice visual presentation and a nice sense of professionalism and entertainment within the content that I want to provide. I actually got quite a few video game reviews I'm in the works right now. It's just that it takes me a little bit of time to get them all together. It doesn't take me one day to get it going, because when I'm working on these reviews, which I got about 2 or 3 of them in the works now, I want them to be at its best. I want them to look good, and I want you folks to be enjoying the content that I'm going to provide. So video game reviews is probably going to be the biggest thing that I will be uploading and working on in this page. Not just the reviews, but lists and other shit as well. But again, I think it feels really nice to do some video game content, whether it's with Austin or independently here on the channel. Which reminds me, I might as well talk about this since I mentioned Austin, the goddamn buttfucker. Recently, since Austin and I have been doing video game reviews and we've been creating such various different plans for content down the road, whether it's on his page or my page, we've been talking about so many ideas. Whether, again, if it's a review or a list or a live stream, whether it's like a gaming live stream or an actual stream talking about a certain topic with gaming, Austin and I have been planning so much down the road that within the gaming world that we agreed that we decided that we are going to be in an equal partnership. We both agree that we are going to be in a partnership in terms of the video game content world. So the thing is that how this partnership is going to work. We'll be covering a lot of games, whether it's like a mainstream or an independent one. We're going to talk it over, and we're basically going to discuss and see if we're going to be talking about this particular video game. For example, Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the reviews that we got. that it's one of those ones that we had in the plans for quite a work. But if there's another game that's coming out, whether it's like again an independent one or something that is a little underrated, from something from the past or some present that gets our attention, we'll talk it over and ask each other if this is worthy enough to review on his channel or my channel, or if this is something that he wants to do independently or something I want to do independently. We're just going to talk it over. But for a good portion of time, Austin and I are going to be talking about gaming a lot together. Whether again, if it's a review or a live stream, or if it's providing good gaming content, or if it's something that's providing like an actual talk. So we agree in a partnership, and I'm honestly very happy about that because I love the guy. I love doing shit with him, and it makes me, on a personal note, it makes me feel better that I'm actually cooperating with somebody in terms of creating content on one person's channel, his or mine, whatever it may be. I like doing that. Equal partnerships there. So it feels nice that I'm going to be working with Austin surrounding that. I like that a lot. So expect a lot of stuff with us as the time progresses within the gaming world. All right, next thing I want to talk about is the Studio Ghibli project. Now, I did a live stream about that a while ago, saying that I'm in the plans of working. I've been promoting the fuck out of it on Bolfos. But here's the thing, though, that I'm not necessarily proud of. I reviewed all of the 80s ones. I reviewed all the 80s ones of Studio Ghibli. But again, this is where it felt to the constructive criticism that I had of myself when I was watching the video. Even with all the editing that I put in to make myself sound fluent, I wasn't satisfied with the production. I just wasn't happy with how the videos looked. So the thing is that after everything that I've watched and everything, I just felt to myself, you know what? I'm going to cancel the Studio Ghibli project, because the thing is that it's not because it's too much work. It's more of an inner mentality that I have myself that I'm not too proud of. So I'm not going to do a Studio Ghibli project because I just don't see myself going back and fucking up like I previously did. If you folks saw the video, you folks probably have a different viewpoint. But for me, though, I want my content to look as good and sound good as I want it to be. I want my content to improve. I don't want to give out shit. I don't want the content to be shitty. I don't want it to sound shitty. I don't want it to look fucking lazy where it's just a slap together and that's it. Because I've done that before multiple times. Why? Because of my laziness. But at the same time, I want my content to improve. And I think, you know what, the Studio Ghibli project, it's a nice little idea. It's a nice concept. Probably if I think about it and improve my content, get the right materials I need, I'll think about getting back to it and working on it. But for right now, I just can't. I want to worry about upgrading my content a lot more. So the Studio Ghibli project is canceled due to my own mentality that I have within my inner self, that I don't feel confident of giving you folks that mentality that I had. I don't want to give that type of shit out when I'm just fucking stuttering and shit like I just did right now. So the Studio Ghibli project is canceled temporarily. Now, this is going to lead me to my last topic, which is the movie reviews in general. Now, again, like with video game content, will I be doing a visual thing? Not really. I want you folks to, I want to do what I've been doing my movie reviews this whole time. But here's the thing, though. I want to go down a path to where I feel more comfortable with, in terms of, I know I said it with the 80s and shit, which will be happening as time progresses. But here's the thing, though. I've been having talks with Jared Ross in terms of silent movies, the golden age, the silent period. And the thing is that he's been reviewing silent movies, and I'm very happy about that. I'm glad he's been doing that, giving the silent period a lot more love, and I'm satisfied with that. I've done some shit I've done some reviews on the silent period myself, but here's the thing, though. They just weren't that a lot of reviews. So I figured, you know what? Since I've been bragging about saying that I do have a general knowledge and a nice little education surrounding the golden age, the silent period, and all that other stuff within the silent movie world, I want to contribute and bring more of that educational value to good use. So within the months progress and as time progresses, I will be bringing more silent movie reviews, and not just silent movies. I want to focus more on films from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. I want to focus more in those eras. Believe me, the 80s stuff will happen. I just got to be in the right mood. But I want to focus more on those periods from the 1910s even up into the 1960s, specifically within the silent period realm. I want to focus more on that. I want to give more of my own education, my own contribution, and my own knowledge. I want to give my own thoughts and perspectives and my own just everything into that realm. I want to focus more on that because the thing is that I've said before that silent films is something that I personally grew up watching. I love the silent period. I love watching those black and white films because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have the cinema that we got today. And it's the God's honest truth. So the silent period is something that I want to focus on. I want to work on that. I want to give more recognition to some of my personal favorite films in the silent realm. I want to work on some films I've either never seen, some films that are underrated. I want to focus more within that realm. So if I focus more in that realm, it'll probably help me help my own mentality out to help you folks get some better content, and it'll help me out personally to improve myself in terms of talking about films because it's in a comfort realm that I want to bring for you folks. But it's not just that. I want to talk more about horror as well. I want to also talk about the horror realm in terms of the whole entire silent period and such. I want to talk about the horror stuff because the thing is that the golden age of horror back in those days, that was when horror was horror. Not this fucking goofy ass fucking asshole smacking his goddamn head on the table, or fucking goofy ass faces, or mutilating a child or whatever. When horror was actually horror back in the day, not this goofy ass, silly, stupid stuff that we get today. I'm talking about when horror was horror. So I want to go back and talk about those old school monster movies, those old school slashers, old school psychological stuff. You know, guys like Vincent Price, Bela Lugosi, Alfred Hitchcock, fucking Boris Karloff, guys like that, for example. I want to talk about shit like that. I want to talk about when horror was horror. I want to talk about the old-fashioned horror. I want to talk about the inspirations of what made horror that we got throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, hell, 2000s, and some of the 2000s, and even in the 2010s has some goofy stuff, but we've actually been able to get some great horror films in the present time. But I'm talking about shit from the past. What do I think of the original Suspiria? I thought it was goofy. I thought it was just a weird fucking movie. And here's the thing though about me. I don't do weird. I cannot do weird at all. But again, Cameron said it. For example, 1925, Phantom of the Opera, shit like that. I want to talk about the old-fashioned, what made horror what it is. I want to talk about horror. Not goofy stuff. Horror. I want to talk about spooks. I want to talk about suspense. I want to talk about, you know, actually up in the ante, something that's a story, something that's creative. Hell, I'll even find movies and talk about the cheesy stuff. I'll talk about the cheesy shit. Even though, because with the cheesy stuff, at least there's self-awareness of some goofy stuff that happens. There's a plot, there's a point, there's a lot of things that transpire in a lot of those cheesy horror ones. I'll watch them, and I'll watch them, even talk about them. If I like the film, I'll say it. If I don't like it, I'll say it. But it all depends on my own perspective, because I've said it from time and time and time again. For all you folks out there, when I review something, whether it's a video game or a movie, I don't say, "Oh, I'm gonna love it right away. Oh, I'm gonna hate it right away." You know what I'm doing? You know what I do? I keep my mind open. Sure, I'll read the little piece of newsletter that's on the internet saying, "Oh, this game sucks," or "This movie sucks," or "This movie's great," or whatever. I'll read what they have to say, take it into consideration, think about it, and while keeping my own thoughts up. Because the thing is that when I review something, when I'm watching a game or a movie, I go by my own take. If there's something that I like, I'll say I like it. If there's something I don't like about it, I'll say I don't like it. It's fucking basic common principles. You don't have to go. You don't need to go by metaphors or similes or onomatopoeias or synonym. Synonym. Synonyms. Fucking hate those words. Or I don't want to talk about fucking adjectives or nouns or all this other, whatever the fuck, this word, that word right there. I can't fucking pronounce it for the life of me. So whatever Ibarra said, what Lucas and Ibarra said, that word. I'm trying to pronounce that word. So that word right there. Write that down. Make fun of me with that goddamn bullshit, similarities and cocksucking nonsense. What the hell is this? Fuck you. So I want to focus on the silent, and I want to talk about horror. Specifically, horror, psychological, UFOs, sci-fi, horror. I want to talk about that stuff. Why? Because the creativity, the suspense, the spooks, the scares, the most professional, the most professional, yet outstanding performers in the silent world in terms of horror. And as you all know, I'm a fan of Vincent Price. I think he's one of the greatest actors of all time. And I think he is definitely one of the key founding fathers. And I also think that he would be on my Mount Rushmore of horror godfathers. So there you go. That's all I can say about that. What the hell is? Let me look what's going on in the chat real quick. See what a lot of you buttfuckers are saying. Lucas hit 1,000 subscribers. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Good for that. Good for that butthole. What else are we going on? Truth or dare? Goodness gracious. What else we got? Goofy stuff. I was never much of a goofy. See, goofy stuff. It depends. What it is. What else we got? Yes, The Silent Era, Frankenstein, 1910. I love that. Midsommar Sprite. What I Did I just leave the stream by mistake? I just left my own stream by mistake. And I'm still live. I accidentally clicked on a different link. I clicked on something where I was trying to pull up my notes. I accidentally clicked on a different link. Let me just get that out of the way. And yes, I know I spelled accidentally wrong. What I think of the original Fright Night? Now, I have seen a lot of movies in my time. I've seen so many. But Fright Night is one of those rare ones that I've not seen. Yeah, that's saying a lot. I have not seen Fright Night. I don't want you folks to get on my ass saying, "Oh, but you need to see this movie." No. If you want to get on somebody's ass of movies they need to see, get on Austin's ass, because that buttfucker hasn't seen hardly anything. That motherfucker hasn't seen Full Metal Jacket. He hasn't seen... Did he see The Neverending Story? I don't know. He hasn't seen Born on the 4th of July. He hasn't seen Glory. He's barely haven't seen any of those movies. Goddamn cocksucking butthole. Let me see what's going on in the chat. What do I think about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films? Not the remakes, but the original. Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I mean, it's okay. The only thing I'm not a fan of is that constant screaming, those close-up cameras, even though it's supposed to be like a fucking psychotic shit, but still. Later in the film I wasn't a fan of, but again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of those movies I'm very mixed on. It's good, but I just don't think it's superb. If you are Roddy McDowell, would I marry Lucas if she will you marry Lucas if he's Asian? No. No, thank you. I'm a Christian. I don't believe in his nonsense. Plus, I like to stay away from blubber. I'm on a proper diet, and I like to stay away from things that are too fattening for me. So Lucas kind of resembles in that category of obesity and lard, junk food, and not good for my diet. So, plus I like to avoid Lucas like it's, I just like to avoid Lucas at all costs because he scares me. And I'll probably call the national squad on his ass if he touches me. So that's that. Or what's that one? Oh, Child Protective Services. There you go. I'll call Child Protective Services just so Lucas won't get on my ass. Or figuratively and literally. Because I don't want him touching me. What the hell is people sending me shit for? I'm busy. I'm doing this. What the hell is this? I'll read this. I'll read this later. No, well, I love you too. See? Give some love to Alex. This motherfucker is great. There you go. Comment right there. What about Dawn of the Dead 2004? I gotta rewatch that one. I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I got to rewatch that one. So maybe I'll talk about that one another time. I don't know. But I got to rewatch that one to see exactly how I really feel about it. So that's that. But yeah, folks, since I'm here, I might as well talk for a little bit. There's quite a few horror films back in the day that I will name off. Not from the top of my head, but I will give because I like to have visuals. But there's quite a few horror films that I am absolutely a fan of. Now, a couple of them. Nosferatu, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Phantom of the Opera, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Hands of Orlok. That's another interesting one. Very creative, very engaging. What else can I think of? The Invisible Man. That's another great one. There's quite a few other ones I'm trying to think. Fucking hell. I just had Japanese food tonight, so a little burpy. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Old Dark House, The Bride of Frankenstein, stuff like that. I love those types of movies. I love those old school monster films. I think they're great. Have you seen the sequel, The Descent Part 2 from 2009? Yes, I have. I was not crazy about it. We don't talk about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on NES. No, we don't, because that game is not great. Am I feeling gassy tonight? In terms of coming out of the mouth, yes. Burping is something that I am feeling extremely gassy at because of the dinner that I ate. So I ate some good food, and I was hungry. I love Japanese food. I especially love the girls at the restaurant, too. I like to watch two of them kiss. I wouldn't mind watching two of them fuck. And if I'm feeling really lucky, I might join in. The Old Dark House starring Boris Karloff. Yes. That is a great... Cute is an understatement. I think they are absolutely gorgeous. I think they are beautiful. I think they are stunning. I think they are absolutely amazing. Murders in the Rue Morgue. That's another one that I like. What else is another one that I like? Occasionally, I like to watch those fucking old ass fucking, what is it? Those goofy ass ones like the tarantula or something that involves like giant ass creatures. I like watching those ones. There was this one that I saw. I can't remember what it was. I think it was the Phantom of the Rue Morgue. It was this one that was like a big ass giant fucking tentacle. I think that was that one. I don't know. I don't remember what it is, but it's probably the same one. The Wolfman, great movie. Creature of the Black Lagoon. The Leopard Man, If you want me to talk about a really goofy one, the Wasp Woman. That's a goofy ass one. Again, shit like that, for example, that is cheesy. Something that is well aware of its cheesiness. Something that doesn't really, that gives all the promotion out there, but ends up being such a really goofy film. That has some sort of nice production behind it, or some interesting script that goes with the dialogue or screenplay, whatever. But again, it doesn't really live up to the anticipation that it's growing. Goofy stuff. Favorite Asian porn star? I'm all about Reiko Kabayakawa. I think she is the hottest. I think she has the nicest pair of tits. She knows how to do anal like it's nothing. It is a piece of cake for her. She don't need. Fucking Reiko Kabayakawa is such a pro when it comes to anal that she don't even need lube for you to stick your dick so far up there. God damn, man. Her fucking ass is like a freshly baked loaf of bread. Fresh, firm, tasty, and just downright perfection. And I have nobody out here to tell me to shut the fuck up. He knows who he is, so fuck you. I can say whatever I want if I'm solo. I have no one to drive me nuts or anything. Mad Monster Party. Mad Monster Party. That's some goofy stuff right there. But it's great. Yeah, the Wasp Woman. I want to review that one because my inspiration for that one is watching Cinemassacre's review with the Monster Movie Madness that they got, which I find to be an absolute phenomenal series. Plus, watching the Monster Movie Madness, it's kind of that series alone inspired me to follow my love for the old school horror films as well. So, Cinemassacre, honestly though, Cinemassacre is the reason why I want to review stuff. Not because of people saying all these other guys who have 1,000 or million subscribers and all that shit. I'm talking about someone who's a fucking legit, actual legend within YouTube now. Cinemassacre is the reason why, for me. I love his shit. You're not going to believe this. I've never seen The Exorcist. You know what you should do? You should watch it right now. You should stop what you're doing, go buy the videotape, put it in your VHS, and watch it. Because it is an amazing movie. It's one of those ones that actually scared the fuck out of me. What is one lost horror silent movie you wish it was found? Oh, God. Now, in terms of lost horror movies, in terms of lost horror movies from back in the day, now, I can't necessarily say that there is a specific horror one, but there is a movie that came out, I think it was around the 1920s, I believe, but there is a lost Cleopatra movie. There was a little bit of film, out there, but here's the thing, no, it was just a little glimpse, but there is a lost Cleopatra movie that was a part of the silent era that was filmed, but ended up getting lost. And I don't know what the fuck happened. So I would like to see a Cleopatra movie surround that. That'd be interesting. Oh God. Lost horror movies that I wish was found. That is actually a really good ass question. Like, seriously. London After Midnight, that is one of the biggest ones out there that was lost. London After Midnight is one of the biggest ones that folks are saying that. Hold on, let me actually look it up because I need visuals now. But yeah, London Over Midnight. I know the title. That film alone, Lon Chaney actually performed that. The Man of a Thousand Faces. That film was made, but here's the thing: it ended up getting lost and something happened to it. That is like one of the biggest ones out there. That would be outstanding to see if it ends up getting found. Have you seen Halloween 2 original sequel, not Rob Zombie one? Yes, I have. I have seen the Halloween 2 original sequel, and if you want me to be honest on how I feel about that one, I mean, it was okay, I think. I don't know. No, not really. I think it was that phenomenal. The first one, just live up to that. Halloween 2 wasn't that spectacular. Okay, I'm being honest. I didn't like it. Never said it. I didn't like it. My parents still have a. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you still have a VHS player. Mine's back there. I've had that little player since the 2000s. Garrett, I wish Romy crashed into your stream. How about no? I need a spotlight every so often. Sometimes. I need to talk every so often. Solo. Occasionally. Even though I work better with people. But still, I like to have my own time to come on and talk to everybody face to face properly and just express with what's on my mind. Thank you very much. So the answer is no, Billy. I don't think so. Maybe tomorrow. See, the thing is, folks, about VHS tapes is that I love VHSs. I mean, I got a couple Blu-rays over here, but the only reason why I'm collecting Blu-rays is for the modern day stuff. You know, the prison tape stuff. But other than that, films from the past, I'm all about VHS tapes. I'm all about VHS. I love VHSs. I think they're phenomenal. It's classic. You know, I have no problems with them. Even though people may say, oh, the quality's bad. Well, it's a VHS tape. Lives up to what it's being about. So I'm all about the VHSs. I grew up with VHSs. I've stuck with VHSs. I'm still collecting them to this very day. It's just that, again, finances. Serious question. Did I poop today? Yes, I did. I did poop today. And I felt better, too. I went like a big boy. I wiped like a big boy. I used baby wipes. Now, here's a point of advice for all you folks out there in terms of using when you're taking a shit. When you're taking a shit, buy baby wipes. Because if you use baby wipes, you can literally wipe the excrement, and that's a big word itself. You can literally wipe the excrement off your ass in just a couple wipes, maybe 1 or 2 wipes. You can wipe this fucking excrement off your ass in no time with baby wipes. Instead of using toilet paper, if you use toilet paper, it'll just spread all over your anal. You don't want this spread because you'll have to fucking get up and wash yourself and all that. Get the fucking doo-doo, caca all over your booty hole. You need baby wipes. It's soft, it's fresh, and it's clean. So baby wipes is the best thing to do. See, there you go, Mickey. He's got a VHS player right there. And that the JVC. Fucking classic. Those things are amazing. I love the JVCs. They are great. Great VHS player. Love them. Yeah, peanut butter spread. There you go. All right. Let me see what else we got here. Yes, VHSs are legendary. I love them. Folks, I did a whole video on my VHSs a while ago. Everything I have, at least for right now. I haven't bought VHSs in God knows how long. So it's been a while. I got a plethora of VHSs written down on my computer of what I want to get. I just haven't bought any because I'm not going to say it again. You just know. Okay, you know what else is good about VHSs? Trailers and commercials. Yes, I've always admired just the VHSs and I've always liked the commercials of VHSs. There was just something about watching those particular ads. Now with Blu-rays, you'll get ads, but the thing is that they don't hold up to what VHSs give in terms of their ads. They actually bring legit excitement for something you want to look forward to. That's what they love about VHSs. And if you don't want to watch the ads, you can skip right through them. For me, I've always watched the ads because, well, I just like commercials in general in terms of VHSs or the old school ones. I used to love commercials back in the day, you know, the 80s and 90s. I love those old school commercials where it was like promoting a certain movie, promoting a store, a video game, promoting a bunch of things that I loved back in the day when I was a kid. And just commercials now, they just don't have that spark. They don't have that excitement. They don't have that same enthusiasm that they used to have. But the thing is that there's one thing about commercials that's missing. Catchy jingles. There's no catchy jingles and commercials anymore. And that breaks my heart. Because the thing is that when there's like a specific, for example, if there's like a pop that's coming out, like a particular new flavor of pop, they'll advertise that, give you some fucking doofus saying, here's this new flavor Sprite. Then they'll play like a little rockin' jingle that'll get you psyched for it. I miss those types of jingles. I miss that stuff. Stuff like that was like childhood. That stuff like that was childhood. I loved it. If you want me to tell you one thing I miss being promoted, I miss board game commercials. I used to love the ads for board game commercials. I love board games. I love collecting them. I fucking love the jingles for board games. Now, if there's one board game out there that I actually remember the jingle to all by heart, literally from word, it's the one for Perfection. If you folks don't know what Perfection is a game to where you got to put all these little pieces. You're on a timer, and you got to take all these little random pieces and put them into the little holes correctly. And if you don't put them in the right time, it'll fucking pop right into your face and scare the shit out of you. Something like Donut Disaster. But Perfection, classic game. It's one of my favorites. I actually miss playing that. Let me look what else is going on. Yeah, commercials back in the day were wild and fun. They were crazy, and I love them. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. All right, let me see what else is going on. All right, let me look here. Yeah, it's been a long time since buying a VHS tape. For you, Mickey, I would definitely, if you have a little money aside, like a couple dollars, and if there's like a specific movie you miss watching, I would definitely spend a little couple dollars to buy one off of eBay. Did I have an earth-shattering fart today? No, I didn't. But the other guy did. He fucking farted earlier and pooped himself. So that's that. What else is going on? Okay. All right, let me see what else is everybody saying. Ink sticker, vertical labels. Yeah, that's how VHS were. It was simple. The Blockbuster commercials. I miss Blockbuster. I did a whole spiel about it on Bofas about how I feel about Blockbuster. It was a childhood store. I gave a whole talk about that on Bofas. And I just miss Blockbuster. Again, I mean, I'll talk about it again a little bit on here with you folks. Blockbuster back in that day. When I was going to Blockbuster, it was like Friday, Saturday nights. I was out of school for a little bit, and it was a little reward. So, let me see. So if I wanted to get if there was a movie that I wanted to see that was on its way to being released on VHS, if I did good, did my homework, and behaved, I would go to Blockbuster, rent the movie, and see what I thought. If I liked it, I'll buy the physical copy. If I didn't like it, well, I give it a watch. So that's what mattered. And plus, the prices were cheap. And plus, everything in Blockbuster in those days was just so neat and organized. Everything was organized by genre, and it was all alphabetical. The genres were all alphabetical. The movies itself were alphabetical within that specific genre. I believe there was a couple times where it was going by, no, it wasn't going by years, but it was going mostly by genre, and it was all alphabeticalized. I don't think that's a real word, but it was all alphabetical. So that's great stuff from Blockbuster. Yeah, I watch ABGN all the time because watching his stuff, one of the main reasons why I am so inspired him, because he reminds me, because his content is something that I love watching. I love folks reminiscing on childhood memories, stuff that was good back in the day. You folks already know by now, I'm someone who lives about the past. I live about the past. I live by my childhood memories. Why? Because back in those days, times were easier and simple, and everything was just so peace and quiet than it is with shit going on today. What do you think is the rarest VHS tape out there? I know there is one. I just can't remember what specifically it is. Tell you what I'll do. I will go on the internet. I'll find an article about the rarest VHS tape out there, and I'll save that as a topic. I'll write that. Folks, give me actually a little moment. I'm going to write that down in my notes right now. So I will give you credit in terms of this particular question that you asked, and I will give you credit for this little topic. So let me just write it down. Okay. Okay, wrote that down. I'll keep that on my notes and do some homework on it. So that's that. Let me get that out of the way. All right, let me see what else. Yeah, Blockbuster had so many things. They had a lot of great stuff. I also like the snack bar that Blockbuster had. They provide some really interesting candies and good deals on popcorn, candies, pop. I really liked how different things transpired. Commercials that I remember from more Disney tapes, the commercials were great. What else? Yeah, commercials don't have spunk or jingles anymore. It sucks. Okay, what else do we got? Liquid Mush. Jesus, Criminy Christmas. I'm glad you've been watching Rocko's Modern Life, Ibera. I love Rocko's Modern Life. Great fucking show. There you go. Yeah. That's good. That's good, Mikey. I'm glad you I'm glad I remind you I'm glad it reminds you of the 90s. For me though, the 90s and early it was the 90s and 90s were a great time for me. From the 90s up into the early 2000s. It was great stuff. AVGN to nostalgic. What do we got here? Pleasure to cute. Yeah, the far was just a poof. Dude, you have no idea how much I miss my fucking how much I miss my own childhood. I'm sure we all do as well, because again, times were simpler. Yeah, that's all commercials are. They're just a lot of meme shit, a lot of fucking covers of songs from back in the day that just didn't really carry anything. I missed the original. I missed the original jingles. I missed something original to where it actually gave you creativity. Folks, you know my favorite ads were from back in the day? If you go on the computer right now, and type in, ads from commercials from the 80s and 90s, you can legitimately type in right now of different things that you can look at. Like there's a whole compilation, whole folder, whole everything. And the thing is that I actually been creating my own. What else? What am I doing? No, I'm not going to talk about that. That's my own personal project. Now, if you want me to tell you one thing, the MTV commercials, I really like the old school MTV ads. Now, before they were playing like music videos, they would always have like a little custom like claymation or some sort of animated MTV type thing. I have a whole video. I actually downloaded the video just so I can keep it and watch in case there was any like copyright strikes or whatever. I kept that video in my own personal files just so I could watch it just in case. So I got quite a few different videos of MTV ads I like reminiscing through every so often. So that's very nice. Yeah, I fucking love the 80s commercial ads now. People are always saying, oh, Gary, you're too young for the 80s, whatever. How about fuck you? You want me to tell you why I'm all about the 80s? It's because, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the reason why my lifestyle is all about the 80s is because of what I grew up with. It's because of the lifestyle I grew up and raised to be. It's because of my surroundings. It's because of things that I've been adapted to all my life. It's because of things, whether it's like watching, listening, using, cooking, talking, dressing, whatever. There's been so many things within the 80s that it's because of my surroundings, and I think I grew up with growing up with that lifestyle alone. Hey, someone who's just born in the wrong decade and old at heart. Hey, that's what's a part of me, and I'm not changing anything about it. So there you go. So let me take a look here. What's going on in the comments? Yeah, well, I'm glad your high school years were great, but I'm glad your high school years were great, Mickey. That's a good thing to have for you. All right, what else do we got? Not much discussion going on. I'll probably go into an hour or so, maybe. I don't know. Something like that, you can say that. God damn it, I'm actually thirsty. Now, I actually do have quite a few. Now, since I'm on a pop here, I actually do have quite a few things in my stash that I am proud of that I have. That's part of childhood. I have the Surge. I have a can of the Surge pop over there. I got the New York Seltzers. I got a New York Seltzer over there. I got, well, the revamped of I got the revamped of the High C Ecto Cooler. Got that. Got original Crystal Pepsi. I got a couple other things over there that I got a couple other things over there that I'm. It's just a lot of junk over there. I ain't gonna go through that. But yeah, I have quite a few things, and my goal right now, folks, since I've been out a while and I've been thinking about a lot of things I want to do. This is a goal, and this is actually a suggestion for you folks that you should do. Now, this is something that I engage myself to. I want to go out there and find childhood memories, things that I grew up with, things that I had that I don't have anymore, and things I want to regain back and be reunited with and have in my stash and just display it on my shelves for me to admire and reminisce on. Just having like specific things that I want, whether it's like toys or a game or fucking like certain like a food, beverage, or whatever, something that's from back in the day. I just want to have it again and just display it on my mantelpieces over there. So I've been really thinking. Now before spending money and buying stuff, I just like with movies I want to get VHS. I just been writing stuff down of what it is that I want to get. What was the one SNES or NES game you always wanted when you were a kid? One NES or SNES game that I want. Now, I never really played NES that much. I was more towards NES. One SNES game that I wanted when I was a kid. I played a good portion of them, too. God damn. That's another tough one for me. Honestly, I don't have a proper answer for the SNES one. Now, as for NES one, what can I think about that one? I never did have Kirby. I never did have Kirby's Adventure when I was a kid. I never had that one. I never had Kirby. I never had Kirby's Adventure. I didn't play that one. And you want to know another thing that I didn't have? This is going to sound like a shocker. I did not have Mega Man 2 when I was a kid. Expensive. I did not have Mega Man 2. I didn't have Super C either. I had Contra, but I didn't have Super C. I think that'll. You know what? Will that count? Will that count? No, I didn't. No, I didn't have Super C when I was a kid. I didn't have Super Contra. I had Contra, but I didn't have Super C. So in terms of NES, I would say Kirby's Adventure and Super C, Super Contra. Oh, that's my answer for that one. But in terms of SNES, I don't really have an answer for that one. What else we got here? Yeah, I know it's nuts, but again, Mega Man 2, at least during my time, I don't remember the price, but I remember it was expensive. Now, my first game system I had was the Nintendo 64, but I found the SNES and the NES as time progressed. I found those games. I found those systems up in the attic when I was a small child. What else do we got here? Roasted. I was never much of a Sega Genesis person. I never really focused. I mean, I'm aware about the Sega Genesis. I'm aware about the iconic games that came to it, but I was never much of a Sega Genesis person. In terms of what I was about Nintendo back in the day. I'm not about Nintendo now, but because the thing is that when it comes to Nintendo, I like staying with what Nintendo was back in those days. I don't really like focusing about the modern day Nintendo now. Even though there are some interesting things like the Nintendo Switch now, present day, the Nintendo Switch is a very interesting system, and I would like to have that because there's some really engaging games that I've read about that I've been wanting to play for so long. But I'd like to get a Nintendo Switch sometime. Have I played Conker's Bad Fur Day? I honestly haven't. I'm just waiting for it. That is a big shocker, I know. But here's the thing. I'm aware of Conker's Bad Fur Day. I'm aware of what it's about. I'm aware of the characters. I'm aware of the story. I'm aware of everything of what Conker's Bad Fur Day is. I'm aware of what that game is. I've done my homework, and I've managed to learn the legacy. So I know exactly what Conker's Bad Fur Day is, but I never had a chance to actually play it. I got the game now because, you know, emulator. So I got the game on my computer. That's good. You've been playing the Spyro region. I'm glad you've been playing the Spyro games. Great stuff. But yeah, Sega Genesis, I was never really much of a fan of. Have I ever played Yu-Gi-Oh? I played it. I used to play that when I was in high school with a couple guys that I was in a card club with, because there was a card because in high school there was a card club. It was an exclusive thing to have. It was in middle and high school. There was a card club. The card club was basically playing different varieties of card games. Yu-Gi-Oh was all I had. So there was one buddy I had. He had Yu-Gi-Oh, and him and I used to duel all the time. So I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid, but I got out of that I got out of that. Kirby 64, of course you do, Lucas. Do you have Star Fox 64 and Super Smash Bros? I don't play Super Smash Bros. Star Fox 64. Now here's the thing though, folks. In terms of a lot of shit I have, I don't have the physical copies anymore. Because you know why? You know. Sometimes you gotta sometimes as time progresses, you put stuff away. And you don't have it anymore. And sometimes you got to sell stuff in order to get money back. So, Star Fox 64. Now, the thing is, the one thing I like is that there's emulators now. For me to reminisce my childhood and favorite video games, I'm glad that I have the NES, SNES, and Nintendo 64 emulators on my computer so I can reminisce on the games that I missed. So, in terms of emulators, yes, I have Star Fox 64 on my emulator. Super Smash Bros. No, I don't want that. What is my favorite Crash Bandicoot? Mine is yours is the first one. Mine is the third. I think the third Crash Bandicoot game is just absolutely phenomenal. Great shit. So Crash Bandicoot, what? I don't feel like yelling right now. So Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, great fucking shit, and so much excitement, and just the whole entire concept of the game, just the platforming, the whole concept, and it felt like it was a whole new take, even though it was a continuation within the story, but it felt like a whole new take, and I think it's just amazing. So Crash Bandicoot Warped is my favorite one. I do have the Insane Trilogy as well. I have the Insane Trilogy as well. Again, bringing back childhood memories. It is just the modern day graphics, but the same old school gameplay of Crash Bandicoot. I fucking love it. I think the Insane Trilogy is great. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna get off here pretty soon, folks. It's getting a little late and it's almost 10 o'clock, and I want to go relax. So that doesn't have to conclude for this particular stream, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the talk. I'm glad I was able to come on here and have a little talk with you folks face to face, talk about a few things regard to the channel, and actually having a little talk and reminiscing through some childhood. I actually enjoyed that a lot. So I thank you folks for joining in for this little unplanned live stream, coming in, talking face to face, and all the other stuff. And I hope you folks have yourself a really good night. And as for the content, I really hope that really hope that everything that I spewed out for you folks, I will find the motivation and write down any ideas for the movies that I want to discuss within the silent realm, specifically horrors and such, and video games reviews that I got in the works for you all right now. I hope that I will have the motivation for the movie reviews, and I will continue on with the work that I have within the video game stuff that I'm working on. I hope you folks are engaged within the whole entire the partnership that I have with Austin for the video game stuff, with the ideas that him and I are going to be doing down the road. And I really hope that I'll have the money, the proper cash to hopefully upgrade the equipment. I don't expect to fucking get a shitload of stuff. I just want to get a couple things to upgrade. Mostly it's audio stuff, microphones and such, because the thing is that I want to upgrade that. And maybe if I'm a good boy, I'll get a new camera, but we'll see. So again, folks, I hope you all have yourselves a good night. I really appreciate for you folks to come in, talk, and have ourselves a good little chat about a childhood and things going on within the channel. So again, for anybody new watchers, subscribe to the page, check out the bullshit that's on the channel. So take a look at the NG2C network. Again, I got a lot of content I'll be uploading within Doom stuff, be uploading that and working on that, etc. and all that. All right, I'm going to shut the fuck up. All right, folks, you have yourselves a good night.